I work for the railroad and this rolled in the other night, cool face. User posted a photo showing a train car tagged with an image of the WSB logo. Is this the Tendy train? From Wendy's backyard, right to Wall Street. Then to the moon. Why go to the moon when we can just have Melvin and Vlog deliver it to our front door? Those fucktards would be lucky to become Tendy transfer engineers. Because I want to go to the moon. Mars, my friend. I don't know bro, that don't look like a 4 or 5 train. Props fellow New Yorker. Yup, father worked on Wall Street all my life till he retired start of COVID. Between that and me skating and BM'ing at the Brooklyn Banks back in the day, the area is like my second home lol. I've touched that bull's balls more times than I can count after getting wasted at Toro Loco around the corner, woozy face. Sounds like he made some smart moves. Good for him. My dad not so much. He gave some guy named Bernie a bit of his wealth and well, you know how that story ends. He's good now, but I'd be lying if I told he doesn't wake up every morning wanting to squeeze the life out of said person. Imagine this, dad grows up poorer than poor in South America and gets his first pair of shoes at 8. Just to pour money in a Ponzi scheme ran by a trusted friend. Also imagine buying Apple, Google or Amazon back in the day. Oh wait, we own GME. Lol, I was reading this as complaining about your dad donating to Bernie Sanders. Wasn't until the end that I realized who actually made off with his money. Well, I thought Sanders. Then I realized he was talking about Bernie Mac. Kaboom, collision, I like it. Damn bro, that is rough. Pretty sure my father didn't have it too great growing up either since he was raised in Bronx, NYCHA. My whole fam actually either Bronx, Coney, or Bed-Stuy. You can even catch me in Coney in a blacked out Tesla since I'm there every day, but yeah, we going to ride this bad boy straight to the 1%, and we can both buy our father something dope. I've been thinking of getting mine a nice camera since he picked up old man bird watching laughing my butt off. You're not kidding about NYCHA. Only a few get out. That whole system is meant to keep people from leaving. Bravo again. I'm trying to get my old man money toward a Beamer. He's also retired and won't spend the money. I bought one at the start of the pandemic. Never taking the subway again. He was thrilled for me, but I could tell it broke his heart a little. Papa is getting one too. Ep it. I wish everyone playing GME all the luck in the world. I just hope noob Spurs don't go broke chasing gains. I hope you get your father like an i8 or some wild crap lol. i8? You crazy. That would break my heart. I at least hope people who can't really afford what they are embarking on take out their initial investment so they're just playing house money. But no doubt, there will be victims. Nice. Your pops got out at the right time. I remember cracking a tooth in HS getting pushed by a friend while kissing those balls. Oh yeah, man was the deputy director of auditing for the city or some crap though. His office was just in Wall Street and then the Freedom Tower when they finished it. Actually turned down a job at Bear Stearns and invested himself. He was just a city worker, but he was smart, has fat stacks of Apple from the 90s and that sweet city pension, so he's bought about 4 properties around the country since he retired. Might have been boomer investing, but now he's asking me when he should buy a Model S, laughing my butt off. Is it true that if you rub them 3x counterclockwise it boosts your luck on puts and 3x clockwise for good luck on calls? I never seen this train in NY, smiley face. Girl, I'll take you to a few rail yards in Queens if you want to see some NY trains. BTW, I don't even know what that means, man shrugging. All aboard. Next up, moon. Nice of the artist to repaint the car number after he covered it up. I'm guessing it increases the odds of his work staying clean. It will still 100% get repaired by the train company who owns that hopper. They will stamp new numbers right where they used to be before the graffiti. Normally, these days train writers avoid touching those large reporting marks at all. It ends up an almost guaranteed stamp to cover those main numbers. I work for a railroad. This railroad actually. Since they painted the numbers back on, it 100% will not be repainted until it gets programmed for some kind of major repair or we have to do something to that area of the car anyway. In fact, one of the things I do is paint numbers back on after graffiti artists cover them up, and I haven't seen our stencil maker in a few years. Edit for graffiti artists out there, us railroaders do appreciate the artwork, particularly I'm a fan of the photorealistic or scenery-based paintings, and I can tell you if you avoid covering any numbers or markings it will stay on the car for years. Second edit, somebody else further up pointed out the reflective stickers, we do have to replace those by law, so also try to leave them intact. And remember, any train can move any direction at any time, so don't graffiti cars even though I like it. And I can tell you if you avoid covering any numbers or markings it will stay on the car for years. Hell yeah, that's awesome. The ones in my yard, they don't care long as you don't color over the numbers and weights mostly. If they clean the paint off, it's normally just squares to redo identifiers. Reporting marks, letters plus numbers to with the car, the weights, and there's a black square with the brake info on it. Typically if you leave those alone you're golden. It would be incredibly cool if train operators sanctioned artists using their cars as canvases as long as they didn't touch the identifiers. Artists get exposure, and the owners aren't any worse off as long as the art isn't too edgy. Form can complement function. The concern is generally less about the graffiti and more about having trespassers in rail yards. Big safety issue. Trespassers get killed frequently when trains move. Many are addicts. Possibly thieves. Runaway teens. So it can also be hazardous for rail workers. Tough to know who's just painting cars and who might be mentally unhinged. Totally legit risk management concerns. Would have to arrange for the cars to be on a siding somewhere safe where human life risk is minimized. Too much to ask, I suppose, with rail margins. Yep. Last I knew, standard demurrage cost, the charge to let a car sit, was $200 per day. That's ignoring the cost of bringing it there. Granted, rail cars sit idle all the time, but that's when it's for the car owner's benefit or storage or whatever. If you want their car to sit somewhere, it'll cost. Demurrage is the word of the effin' day. Today's WAD was brought to you by Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. I'd wager to say nobody cares about the paint. It's 100% a safety/liability issue. Messing around in a rail yard is just too much of a risk to get yourself hurt or break something expensive. It has happened before. Very rare situation though. I once suggested this when I worked for Government Railway. I got shut down hard. I would like this kind of idea for a lot of things. In the grand scheme of things, it costs the train company basically nothing. If anything, it actually makes them break even because they don't need to pay to have the car cleaned of graffiti as often, because people won't touch good art. In Cincinnati there are tons of murals all along the old part of the city and it's beautiful, and they have an even every year or two called Blink where they bring in a ton of extremely powerful projectors and make the murals move and change. It's truly a thing to see if you ever happen to be in the area when they're doing it. Yeah, we'll probably get re-stamped. A lot of freight guys mask off the letters because leaving some spots unpainted is better than a big block of brown covering half your piece. It doesn't help. That's not up to standards per our regulations. Not to mention the fact that he seems to have covered up the load limit/light weight of the car, as well as all of the reflectors on that side, and probably other regulatory information. It's going to get messed up, and the owner or lessee is going to be spending a few $100 on the repair. If he really wanted it to stay, and if he were smart, which most taggers aren't, hence why they're painting on other people's property instead of doing something productive, he would have taped/blocked out all of the stenciling, reflectors, and decals on the car and painted around it, and then peeled the tape to uncover the information. In that case, it'll almost always get left alone, as long as it isn't obscene. They keep weird stuff sometimes. I got one tank car in my yard that has pussy control on it in big print on the side. 853,050 GME price target confirmed. That's actually how high he is holding his shares to. We're not complete animals. Uck, I'm an ape. They do it to increase the chances of the piece running without getting buffed. Very considerate. As someone who has painted trains, and knows people who paint trains currently, by leaving the numbers visible you increase the chances that your art stays visible. As an artist you don't want to interrupt the train workers' paperwork, or else they buff, clean, the whole car to get the numbers visible. And that's not very cash money investing time in your art to get seen, just to get it all erased soon after. They always do. I wish. I load grain cars for a living and the car numbers are painted over all the time. I really do appreciate it when I see them repaint the numbers or paint around them though. Okay, well, I suppose usually by the time I see them the only pieces that are left are the ones that left the numbers or repainted them low. As someone who paints trains, only toys, noobs, paint over the numbers and train riders. That's a quick way to get your crap buffed real quick. We don't want to interrupt your work as a train worker. We just want to make art for people to see. Can't stop this train, it already left the station. There's no tracks where this train is going. Interstellar. Should we call the train Oumuamua then? Okay, what smooth-brained ape did this? I really want to know. Guessing whoever did this might have a wrinkle or two. Nope, it's smooth. No diamonds. Empty hands. Standing next to these train cars up close really gives you a whole new appreciation of the planning and effort that goes into something like this. The bottom edge of the mural here is like 5 above the ground. You basically have to have some kind of lift or be working from a ladder to do this. Whoever did this is clearly an experienced bomber. This piece is super clean. Also, you can see that they made sure to paint the car's reporting number over the piece since they painted over it. This is because painting over numbers can get the feds involved. This is almost not even a bomb. This is like a proper mural. I have to wonder if maybe they didn't get permission to do this in daylight. You just don't see train car pieces of this size that are also so clean, and with so many layered colors. This took a lot of time. I don't see how they could do this without being detected. This is a several-hour ordeal at least. Or they are just baller as hell and painting retarded WSB crap for the lol's lol. Suppose that's possible too. That's very offensive. Just shared to r/graffiti might get an answer, Reddit link. They would be very stupid to expose themselves lol. Almost every graffiti artist has an IG now. And, like, every drug dealer. Crap is bonkers. I asked my homegirl if she had a line for DMT vape pens and she's like, yeah, let me show you his product. And pulls up his Insta. Like what the F lol. I'll take 2. They make DMT vape pens? My preferred method to visit them, my friend. Smooth, convenient, although typically pricier than you'd expect for the added manufacturing. However, highly, highly recommended. And it still has that smell, completely unadulterated. Anybody who's been there knows the smell. So do they mail or what's going on here? I'm getting a t-shirt apparently. FedEx style lol. Hey, where can I get a shirt? Asking for a friend. Does it throw you to the space within second you inhale? You take 3 big as you can, deep as you can hits holding them in as long as you can. That's the dose to break through. As you exhale that last hit, well, you're hitting terminal velocity as you start exhaling and by the time you're done you are just not here anymore. I know I'm getting old, cause that sounds terrifying. You're right. I'll be on the moon, rocket. By them you mean the machine elves? That weird-ass burnt plastic smell? I've never had carts, but that crap stunk whenever I dabbed it lol. Yeah, what? Go on. Web link. How do you acquire? Swim makes them. Super easy. Boil water, pour in bowl. Put your dreams in shot glass, add liquidizer. Put shot glass in hot water and stir till dissolved. Suck out mixture with syringe and add to empty cart. Place cart on battery and then blast off to the moon. Rocket, love and light fellow astronaut, heart, sparkles, astronaut, own symbol, edit, don't listen to me, I eat crayons, crayon, do your own research. Fellow astronaut, fellow interdimensional voyager of the multiverse to meet those that may very well be responsible for the manufacturing and ongoing maintenance of our entire universe and infinite others, winking face, I'm an atheist but what, and more specifically who, is over there, I don't know, if there is something beyond all this, I effing hope it's that in them. I really want to experience the journey, but it may be a long time before I ever get the opportunity. One day though. I know the experience will still be there, and it'll happen whenever it's meant to happen. Safest of travels whenever you do. It's literally the most insane thing you will ever do in your life. Make sure you're on 0 SSRIs and that you have 15 minutes to spare a month or more where you meet yourself and are unsure if you're dead or not lol. It's a effing wild, enlightening, terrifying, and absolutely incredible ride. I came back crying my first time as they were still shooting tendrils of white-hot pure love into my chest cavity. I done plenty of hallucinogens. DMT is on a literal other dimension. Depending on where you are, it's not too difficult to extract some yourself. Thanks. And I'm agnostic. Organized religion is bullcrap, but once you meet the light beings, you definitely have a new perspective on how the building blocks of reality work. Swim makes them. Anyone who's been in online drug culture long enough to use swim is trustworthy in my book. Dat plausible deniability. What's DMT? Ask Joe Rogan. I've always been told LSD is like floating down a lazy river. DMT is like getting fired out of a cannon. Cool, bro. Just gimme the Felix and I'll pass on the cannon thing. Apparently, a lot of the new drug users where I live buy it through Snapchat. What's the ig laughing out loud? DM me. Here in CA, if you snitch on a graffiti artist you get $250 if they can prove it was him/her and prosecute. It costs so much to clean it up, so I guess they figure tendies for snitches. The railroad doesn't paint over graffiti unless important information is covered up, even then they only do the bare minimum. The artist apparently knew this and restored the 853,050 on the left. Yup, most people tape over the markings or make them bigger. The train number was actually 853,051 and he's just effing with them/s. Bless them. Tagging trains is cool. Tagging convenience stores is not. Agreed. Anywhere that's ugly and concrete anyway should be free reign. I'd rather see graffiti than concrete wall. Yep. Was building a rail shed a while back. Got to talking with some big shot with the railroad about graffiti on rail cars. He really surprised me when he said that they usually leave it if it isn't obscene or if they don't paint over the weight info and car ID numbers. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.